Guys, FilthyRobot here, another guides, tips, and tricks video, this time talking about modding Battle Brothers. So I wanted to bring you 5 mods that I could not play Battle Brothers without anymore. Talk to you just quickly about what they did, how they work, the ups and downs to each of them, and then leave you some links to get them if you're interested in that. So the first mod I want to tell you about is the speed mod. So your normal walking around on the world map is that speed. You can go to speed 2 with the base game, and then we have speed 3 and speed 4 with the mod itself. They're both great. All those are great, but that's not even the best part of the mod. The best part of the mod is when you enter combat, your animations are massively sped up as well. So let me try to show you what we're talking about here. So normally when we fight something like undead, which are a fairly slow, tedious fight, you end up letting your zombies move towards you and you pass your turn and the zombies go. And the zombies go at excruciatingly slowly speeds. No more! No more. Zombies move at a reasonable rate. A lot of the delay in between the actions in the game are taken care of. So if I were to do something like retreat, this stuff happens at a halfway reasonable speed, which is so nice for those of us who play a lot of Battle Brothers. The animations are fine. We like them just fine. But having them happen at a massively accelerated rate, you can see the turn order moving, is just absolutely great for overall quality of life in gameplay. You guys will notice something else with this. I should have done it while we're in there. We'll do it right here. So that's mod number 1. It's speed mod. I will put a link in there. Be careful with the speed mod. There is one known bug that will hopefully be patched before too much longer. But the issue right now is that if you are, if an enemy crossbower, if like a noble crossbow guy kills somebody, it will crash the game right now. So be careful if you're fighting a bunch of noble stuff. You may just want to remove the mod and then play through the noble fight, then put the mod back in. It's totally capable and stable to do that. You can add or remove the mod mid-campaign with no negative repercussions. Second mod I'm using is called Scoutable Locations, and this one is at least as sweet as the last mod. So how this works is this location. We've just been in this location, by the way. But if you mouse over this location, and now it says unknown garrison like it would have said before, but it tells us what type of enemy is in there. It says undead. Undead here include ghouls, so the nachos or scrubadubs, whatever you want to call them, as well as ancient undead, necrosavant, you name it. Anything that's undead could be in there, but this will save you the time of running into a fight, setting up for goblins because you suspect it's goblins. Maybe there's some goblin footprints about, or maybe it's one of the unknown citadels in a goblin area, and you're like, this has got to be goblins. You set up and you walk in, and it's orcs. And it doesn't matter, it's orcs. All you have to do is retreat out and then then swap your setup and then go back in and fight it. But the whole process takes 30 minutes to friggin' do as you walk out again, reset what your guys are moving, and then come back in and start the fight. This saves that. So now you know what type of enemy it is. I like it because it no longer, it doesn't step on the foot of the band of poachers. The band of poachers will now will give you the full readout of what's in there, but the mod just tells you what type of enemy you're gonna be seeing, which is super nice, and it tells you the chance of a famed item. Ignore the negatives, but if you come over to this one, for example, this one, chance of famed items, 12.6%. So you get a sense of the risk versus reward of what you're taking, of how lucky you may be to get a famed item out of that. Known bug with this this particular mod, and I don't think this bug will be fixed anytime soon, is if you have scouted a location. Let's say we come over here at 4 times speed, sweet, and we get close to it. This is not the mod scouting for us. This is just how this camp works. As you get closer to this camp, you get more information about it. That's the base game. We know there's some legionaries and auxiliaries. Let's say we went to town and they gave us a contract for this location. And I don't think you can actually get a contract for this location. But let's say you did. Let's say you went to town and you got a contract for the location, and the contract specified that location would be brigands. The mod would still report undead, even though that now had been changed to brigands. So just if you do contracts to go to camps, make sure you read the contract to get an idea of what you're going to be fighting, as opposed to relying on the mod for that. So be aware with that. The third mod, and these are all quality of life mods that I just love. So we just unfortunately missed that. We'll camp through the night. The third mod that I really like is what Tryout always should have been. So this is the Tryout mod. The way it works is this. Previously, what you could do with Tryout, if I went to this guy and I tried him out, the Tryout would show me his starting, what are they called? Traits, right? So if he had quick, or if he had bleeder, we could try that out on the screen and know that. The problem is that's super irrelevant to whether or not you hire a brother. The only time that's ever going to be a real factor is if it's a no. if there's some trait that's so bad that you just can't handle it. And there's not very many of them in Battle Brothers for that. So that's the only time that was useful. And it basically made Tryout totally worthless and something you never did. The new Tryout does something a little bit different. For a percentage price, so this price is going to go up based on how expensive it is. It's a percentage. So a very expensive brother, it costs you a big chunk of money to try it out. But you hit Tryout and it tells you a couple things. It shows you the traits that the guy had, just like it previously did, club-footed and brave. But it also shows you where the stars are distributed. Doesn't tell you how well he rolled, so it doesn't tell you if he got like a 55 or a 40 or a 65 or whatever it would be. It's a fisherman, so his range isn't that wide, but you get the idea. Doesn't tell you the starting amount, but it tells you there's stars in melee attack, stars in range attack, and 1 star anyways, and 1 star in range defense. And this makes it so you have to farm less to get an idea of what backgrounds you want to hire, get you a better idea of what you're putting money into, and allows you to actually use Tryout as something useful. Just if you don't have any money, or you want the guy's armor, or you're going to get him regardless of where his stats are, because maybe he's like a thief or a sellsword and they just have incredible starting stats and it doesn't matter quite as much where the stars are, doesn't change a thing. But for the rest of the stuff, it makes the quality of life of hiring brothers so much better, so much less grind and farm crap to get the same end result for me, which I really, really, really like. All right, the next one is the combat log. I just want to show you that real quick. So if I were to go into this fight, you guys might have noticed this previously. Normally what happens is your combat log is rolled up. Why it starts minimized, I don't know. But normally it starts like that. And it doesn't really matter. And for maybe those of you who don't stream or don't record videos for this, it's not a big deal at all. And maybe like something weird happens, like you get shot in the head with a crossbow and your guy dies. You're like, what the hell? What was the percentage chance? You have to go click on it. For me as a streamer and someone who creates content for this, and is just a player who doesn't want to have to go click this every single time, but wants to know what the hell is happening so I can see the crazy RNG or like the nice hits or what I'm actually dealing with, the auto deploy of the combat log is just so good, man. Like, why even have it? Anyway, so I'm so pleased about that. That to me is super exciting, and I thought I'd share that with you guys. All right, and then finally, the other mod that I want to show you, this one is probably the most controversial for you guys. But this is called the Cart Ambition mod. And what this does is pretty simple. The total number of tools, food, arrows, medical supplies, and are all related to the difficulty you start on and the economic difficulty. And then your total inventory is related to that, is related to a couple things. It's related to which background you start with, how many ambitions you've got. There's a cart ambition and then like an improved cart ambition, I believe. And then there is caravan hands can also increase the capacity of your cart. For me, I like raiding very, very deep into the wilds. I like taking long, like stocking up across all the cities known to me to buy tools and then raiding for like 5 days in the wild, exploring, killing orcs, you know, fighting goblins. That to me is the core fun portions of Battle Brothers to me. That's what I love doing in this game. And it was always very restrictive to me that every 3 days, it might be a 4-day journey to reach from my nearest citadel here. That's not even a citadel, actually. That's my nearest citadel to get tools. It might be 4 days before I can get out there. And if I can only carry 3 fights worth of tools or 4 fights worth of tools, it makes the whole thing kind of tedious. I run all the way out there, get 3 fights, run all the way back, buy tools, and do this over and over again while still farming enough money to keep my brothers going. It's just not very fun for me. So one of the mods that I use and I really like, it increases the amount of capacity you can have in your inventory and increases the amount of tools you can carry. And it does this based on your cart ambitions. So each cart ambition is going to have a very large impact on the number of tools. For this particular playthrough we're looking at right now, I've had 1 cart ambition and I'm playing on easy economic difficulty, which means that my tool count started at 200 and 1 cart ambition has brought it up to 300, increased the number of arrows I can carry, increased the amount of medical supplies I can carry, and increased my cart size fairly significantly. So I can go out and raid, I can go out and collect the trophies that were added in the Beast DLC without having them just clutter my inventory to a point where I can't use them. And you can see we've been out for like a week and a half with this group before coming to town. Our inventory is loaded to the gills with the number of stuff we picked up, and we're headed back. And we got to go out and fight a bunch of orcs and fight a bunch of undead and do all these cool things, fight a bunch of unholds, because we actually have the inventory and tools to support it. And that for me makes for really engaging gameplay. It lets me have all the super fun fights in Battle Brothers with the minimal amount of downtime. Might not be for everyone, but that for me is one of my absolute favorite mods. Anyways, guys, you can always find the mods that I am playing by going to my channel and typing in !BB mods. It stands for Battle Brother Mods. That will bring you to a paste bin of the mods that I'm using, a brief explanation of what they do, a brief warning of some of the bugs, and then how to install them, and the ones that I'm using, I keep that up to date, or my mods keep that up to date, and hopefully you guys enjoy them as much as I do, and hopefully they add to your experience of the game as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.